Hey friends, it's Jessica Henricks, and I am so excited to be here today with you as part of Amy's Fall eSummit as we are together learning how to finish the year well. Today I'm going to talk to you about focusing on the wildly important goal or goals. You can have two, but you can't have seven. And so this is a topic that I have actually been using with my team for the last couple of months, and it kind of is building on some things that we are shifting, and it has been working so very well and has given me a new energy for my business. Now, focusing on the wildly important goal is not a concept that I came up with on my own. It is actually something that I have been learning about from a book called The 4 Disciplines of Execution. It is a great resource, and so if you are interested in learning more after today's talk, I would encourage you to search for the book, or you can actually find some videos of an overview online. So again, it's called The 4 Disciplines of Execution, with one of the pillars being, one of the disciplines being to identify and focus on the wildly important goal. So every holiday season, things start to get crazy. And if we do not stay narrowly focused on what is the most important, the most wildly important goals for our business, it can be so easy to quickly become overwhelmed. This time of year especially, it seems like we are getting all sorts of great ideas from maybe our corporate headquarters, our home office teams, other peers in our community, other leaders, and it can get really overwhelming whether you are a team leader or just a sales leader. It can be really overwhelming to discern what to focus on. And so I'm going to be using myself and my business as an example today as we talk about how to identify your wildly important goal and communicate that really well with your team. I'm also at the end going to talk a little bit about how your wildly important goal for your personal business might be a little bit differently than the team wildly important goal, but how those two things tie together. So I actually work for a brand that is a social impact brand. And because we have this great mission component, it is really easy for me to talk to my team about how our sales and our recruitment, our enrolling, actually lead to increased impact. We are partnering with artisan groups around the globe. So when our sales and our enrollment numbers are strong, that directly impacts jobs created for people living in vulnerable situations around the world. It's really a quite wonderful business and a quite wonderful business model. And so as I was looking to define the wildly important goals for my team, which I like to do that month by month, it's really kind of simple for me to communicate to them that as they stay consistent with their sales and as a team, as we hit sales goals numbers, those really impact the mission of our company, the social impact of our company. I also place a lot of value on continuing to bring more women into our organization, into our team, into our company, because just with the nature of direct sales, most people who join direct sales companies, they're here for a season, but then sometimes life changes. And so in order to keep my personal business strong, our team strong, our company strong, I really encourage my team to constantly be looking for more people to have opportunity conversations with so that we can continue to make a great impact. So if I'm using myself as an example, my team has set a very specific, wildly important goal of having X dollars in sales impact for the month of October and enrolling X number of consultants. And so that is our wildly important goal. Two things that we were focusing on in October, and I will tell you those are similar things to what we were focusing on in November and December, even though the sales numbers might fluctuate just because of holiday shopping season. So there's two goals that I'm talking about this time of year with my team. It's the only goals that I'm consistently talking about, and that is sales and recruitment. And so even though you probably are not with a social impact brand, those are still in the direct sales industry the two most important things that keep our businesses strong. You have a strong business when you are doing sales and when you're bringing in more consultants who are going to do sales alongside you. And so you can probably see how this might translate to your business as well. And so even though there are tons of great ideas and there's tons of challenges or new ways of doing sales that we could be thinking about, when life gets overwhelming, we want to focus only on the wildly important goals. And we want to teach our teammates to do the same things too. And so it's a really easy litmus test test as I am going about my week or going about my day, as I'm starting to get flustered, or maybe I'm having a coaching call with my teammate and I'm hearing some stress and some overwhelm and some panic from her. We can easily take a deep breath, slow down, and ask the question, is what I'm stressed about, is what I'm focusing my time and energy on, is this actually helping me move the needle on these wildly important goals that we have? And if it's not, then it's likely that I or my teammate, I'm going to encourage my teammate to go ahead and table that idea, table that work, table that activity, table that new strategy until January, when we have a little bit more breathing room or past the holiday shopping season, and we can evaluate if there's room to bring something new in. But we are just going to focus on the most important thing, which is our wildly important goals of our sales numbers and our enrollment numbers. Now, here's the key. As you are teaching your team to think about these wildly important goals, or as you are talking about the wildly important goals, when you only report out on the success, when you only are measuring the result, you are missing the opportunity to teach the behaviors, teach the activities that are going to help you and your teammates reach the goals. And so every single week, I'm having a weekly huddle on Mondays with my team where I am asking them to report out to me, how are your booked events going? What's the progress? How many shows do you currently have in progress? We are a show-based, events-based company. Maybe you are a replenishable product company or a subscription-based company. And so maybe you're not events-based as much as you are looking to set a certain number of appointments or send out a certain number of samples each month. Figure out what it is, that thing that is going to lead to the sales results or lead to the enrollment results that you're looking for, and start talking about those things with your team. While those might not be the definition of the result of the sales goal or the enrollment goal, those are the behaviors that are going to lead to success. And so every Monday, I make a post in my team Facebook group. That's where we hang out the most. And I ask them to tell me what is working well, what is not working well, where are you stuck? How many events do you have booked month to date? How many of those are in progress? What has shifted around those? And then how many opportunity conversations have you had month to date? Now, those last two things that I just talked about, what events do you have in progress or closed? What do you still have booked? Because we're an events-based company, the best predictor for me for where our sales are going to end up for the month is in the events that we have in progress or closed. And so that gives me some ideas of some shifting that we need to do to continue to move forward towards our wildly important sales goal. When it comes to enrolling, the best way for me to predict if we're going to hit our enrollment goal is to find out how many opportunity conversations have happened month to date. And I'm going to be really honest. This is new for my team. The way that we're talking about goals is new for my team, but we are on track to finish 2019 strong and begin 2020 in a really great place as well. And so I'm hoping that as I'm talking through this, you're hearing some things that you can take back to your own personal business and to your own team as well. So every week, I'm updating them. I'm pulling information out of them about how their events are going and how their opportunity conversations are going. And then after I get that information on Monday nights, I am updating again in Facebook, because that's where we hang out the most, the entire team, the entire organization that we have in my family of teams. I'm updating them with where our progress is to those wildly important goals around sales numbers and enrollment numbers. And so it's an ongoing conversation. I'm not just celebrating at the end of the month with recognition, and I'm not just doing a mid-month check-in, but every single week we are tracking progress and where we are at, where our gap is to our goal, our wildly important goals. Okay, so I've talked a lot about team, and I also want to make sure that I don't miss the chance to talk about your personal business as well, because not everybody that's watching today has a team, even though I think direct sales is so much fun when you have a great group of people to do it with. So, my personal wildly important goal for my business is not the same as it is for my team. And while I have this team goal around sales numbers and enrolling, in my personal business, I know that my sales are strong and I know that my enrolling is consistent. But I have two promotions that I have my eye on right now. One is around my lifetime sales achievement, and another is around promoting to the next level within my company. So, all of the things that my team is doing right now also does support me hitting that next promotion goal. But in order for me to hit my lifetime sales achievement goal, that will be a commission bump for me when I hit that number, I know that I have to keep my personal sales strong. And so whether we're talking about the team goal, the team wildly important goal, or your personal goal, which mine again is around sales promotion and team building promotions, either one, team or personal, it is important that you are tracking those efforts. So tracking those events booked, or maybe it's those samples mailed out, or those one-on-one conversations that you're having at a coffee shop, or it's whatever. I mean, whatever those behaviors and activities are that are going to lead to the success. So you're going to track the behaviors and activities. You're going to measure success and your gap to success with your back office data, and then make sure that you're celebrating. So with my team, we're celebrating every single week in those monthly posts. I'm sending personal notes out. I'm doing shout outs on social media. But for my personal business, I'm a little bit of an island of one as the leader of my team in my company. And so I have built a strong network of peers within my company, and even mentors outside of my company that are constantly checking in with me to hear how I am doing and moving towards my own personal goals as well. And so again, my personal goals are around a lifetime sales achievement and promoting. And so I'm tracking how I'm doing about getting my own events booked, where my own sales are at, how many hostess asks am I making, how many opportunity conversations am I having. And so whether it's team or personal, make sure that you have a clearly defined wildly important goal. As a leader, make sure that your goals are aligned with what you're asking your team to do. One of the best ways to help your team find a success is to model those behaviors for them. And in conclusion, focus again on just those one or two wildly important goals. Let everything else this time of year really kind of fall to the side so that you can fight overwhelm, and then make sure you're tracking those efforts and behaviors, you're measuring success, and you're celebrating. Have fun, you guys. Best wishes in the end of 2019, and I just am cheering you on.